computer. And then I'm going to minimize this so that I don't see myself while I'm, all righty, here we go. So thanks for everyone jumping on tonight. All righty. I really appreciate your taking your time. And I always, before I do a presentation, I always ask God to prepare your hearts and my words, because every person really exposed to this is a prayer answered. And so I just asked you to come to it with an open heart and an open mind and hear, you know, what we have to say about this project, Feed It Forward, which I believe is a divine appointment. So this is what I like to start with. Lord, you made us to know what hunger is, but also to know the goodness of your provisions. We pray for those who share this earth with us, but for whom hunger is a crippling, life-threatening danger. We pray for those who have nothing and those who have too little to eat. Would you help them and allow us to be part of the solution? So I love this quote by Mark Nepo, and he says, to be human is to look deep enough into someone else to see yourself. And although, you know, most of us have not suffered with food insecurity, hunger, if we look around, it's everywhere. And in this day and age, it really shouldn't be. So I feel this is part of being human, is to look around and see where and how we can help, and to feel for those, to have empathy for those who are suffering. So Project Feed It Forward is creating wealth through contribution, for sure. And it adds money and meaning to your life. And this is a little vision board I just recently did with one of my old pastors. We did a course online, and it was fun to do on Canva. But you can see up in the top center there is my traditional vision board for Project Feed It Forward, which hangs in my bedroom and has now for 4 years. And with this, we take road trips, the top left, bottom right. We deliver bars to shelters and food pantries, and any vacations we take in our camper, we you know, we definitely feed the hungry. And I've been with a company, a global health and wellness company, one of the fastest growing global health and wellness companies now for 9 years. And for 9 years, I created, as Tasha so nicely calls it, wealth through wellness. And I've been working with them, excuse me, utilizing their amazing products, their compensation, their distribution program, and building teams of consumers. And I do believe, excuse me, that this was just a progression of my traditional business, but I feel that I've always had this passion to feed people. And you'll see my little grandparents in the middle of that picture. They were Italian immigrants. And from the time I was a child, we had a big family, and they didn't really speak English. And we'd sit down at their table, and at the end of grace, they would always say, L'animazana Purgatory, and it was cooking for the souls in purgatory. I was always taught to prepare more than what we needed, because there's people that are hungry out there. So I think, you know, my journey through this, I have always had this passion to feed people. I got lost for about 25 years. I was a real estate investor. I raised my 5 children. And although I was still feeding people, needless to say, and my 11 grandbabies and neighbors who moved in, I just had this passion to feed people. And if you go to our Project Feed It Forward website, you can watch my vision video as to how this vision really came to be. It was just handing a homeless person one of our meal replacement bars, and understanding and being in my company long enough to see how we could flip this business model, and sort of rethink the network marketing industry and use it to contribute as opposed to just consume. So what I want to cover in this this short presentation is I want to cover our why. You know, Simon Sinek says start with your why, because if your passion and your treasure is, you know, wherever that is, your heart is. And so this really drives me, and the hows come when you have your why in place. So I'm going to cover our why. I'm going to cover our solution to this, the vehicle that we use, my network marketing company, and how they provide our product, they provide our distribution, and they provide our compensation. So our vision with Project Feed It Forward is to impact hunger by donating nutritious meals to those in need. And through our contribution, we create a vehicle that funds more philanthropic endeavors, and it fuels this cycle of giving. So what we do is we collaborate and we build give back teams. I call it feeding ministries. and the participants can actually partake of the profits. So, we all need to work. We all need to have a business. We all need to create money. Why not doing it by addressing the social issue? And I do believe instead of consuming, we're a nation of consumers, that God wants us to create, God wants us to collaborate, and God truly wants us to contribute. So let's talk about our why. If you go to the website, you'll find statistics on hunger, and they really are staggering. 1 in 6 Americans face hunger. More than 1 in 5 children are at risk for hunger, and among minorities, it's 1 in 3. 5 million senior citizens are at risk of hunger. 49 million Americans struggle to put food on the table. And I love this last fact here. In the United States, hunger isn't caused by a lack of food, but rather by the continued prevalence of poverty. So with this project, Feed It Forward, you can actually address both of these issues because you create revenue by feeding the hungry. So it is my dream really to flip that switch as well, not just the hunger piece of it, but the poverty piece as well. So people are forced to choose, and that just shouldn't be. And what happens is when people are forced to choose between housing, medication, transportation, education, medical care, it keeps them in a place of scarcity. And I believe that they're really, it's really hard to break that cycle. So again, if you go to the website, it's very cool. I have a link on there where you can actually plug in your zip code and see what the statistics are right in your area. We sort of live in our own little bubbles and don't realize that it's right here where we live, and we can impact that locally. We can actually impact locally with places of benefits. And also it'll show you the food banks and the shelters and places that will accept donations that are local to you. So I think it's a pretty cool way to find that out. So let's talk a little bit about our vehicle, the vehicle of network marketing. And in this case, I call it cause marketing. So many people want to work with a company that has a cause. So many big organizations, smaller organizations, individuals, millennials are passionate about working for a cause. And there's so many causes to work for. So network marketing is the movement of products or services from our corporate partners to the end users via word of mouth. And we truly are, we're all born networkers. I mean, we are. If we see a good movie, if we go to a good restaurant, we read a good book, if as Christians, we go through tests and we get our testimony, our obligation to get that forward and get back. So with Project Feed It Forward, what we do is we take on a global issue, the issue of hunger and poverty, and we create a new innovative solution, which is utilizing the network marketing industry. And we petition the passion of the public, people who want to get involved in something bigger than themselves, want to be the change they want to see in the world. And then we offer and create compensation around this. So that is exactly what social entrepreneurs do. And that's what I think we are, social spiritual entrepreneurs, as members of this cause. So let's talk a little bit about the benefits of the industry. And most of us are in this industry, so we know them, but there's so many. We own our own business. So many people are looking to be entrepreneurs these days, and so many people need to create another stream of income. So it's just a wonderful way to do that. You can open a global business from your home, for $29 a month, for $29 a year. So duplication and leverage are always working for you, which is a wonderful concept. It's people helping people. And it's not you trading time for money, and you're your own boss. And I love to say, my husband always says to me, don't tell me what to do. So nobody wants to be told what to do. So we're our own boss. Obviously we have to be disciplined with our time. We have to learn some skills, but it's all doable. Anyone can be successful with this. No degrees are required. Again, there are skills that we need to learn. But it's nothing that takes any, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to do this. Tax advantages are huge, and everybody needs tax advantages these days. You help others make money. Poor people can't help people. And so to be able to help other people make money by addressing a social cause, there's no better feeling in the world. You can work from anywhere. Jim and I take 6 weeks and we travel and we deliver these bars. And as long as I have my computer and there's people in the world, I can work. You choose who you work with. This is huge for me because I want to work with positive people. I want to work with people who, I'm reading this great book right now. It's called The Second Mountain by David Brooks. And he talks about how, um, we all get out of school and we do what society tells us to do. We go get a job, we raise our kids, we strive for more, the house, the cars. And on that journey, yeah, we learn a lot of skills and yeah, we get places, but we get to this point in our lives where we look around and we say, there's got to be more than this. And so on this mission, we get to choose who we work with and choose what we want to do and what cause we want and what's close to our heart. And so I want to work with people who want to make a difference. I want to work with people who see opportunity. I want to work with the dreamers. I want to work with people who I'd have in my house, and sit down at the table with my family. I want that in my life. I don't want to be dragged down by, the corporate mentality. So you earn what you learn. This is another cool thing. You go to school for how many years, you apprentice, you start a job. They typically don't pay you good money while you're learning. So this is a wonderful way. There's a lot of bridge money in here that while you're learning these skills, you can earn. No risk. Like I said, it's a minimal investment, and you can turn around and make money right on that investment right away. You can jump out anytime. There's no long-term commitment. So it's no risk and the rewards are amazing. You can impact hunger, which is huge for me. That's something that touches my heart. And you can actually impact any cause that you have, because the money that you raise by feeding people, you can use for whatever cause you have on your heart. Work at your own pace. Some people do this quicker. Some people do it more slowly. The compensation I'm going to show you today is the residual part of it. So it's a little bit of a slower build, but Isagenix does have bonuses in place. It's called the bridge money that will take you over and tide you over and get your money paid back right away, if you so choose to push this with the help of your team. Your startup cost is low and it contributes back to the community. So I think there's so many advantages, and this is just a few. And I know Tosh is on this call, and there's a lot of people who are very well versed in this industry that can explain it and take you on a journey further into learning more about it. And on our website, under the tools section, you'll find lots and lots of books on network marketing. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki is a great book. It's just changing our mentality on what we believe, what we have to do to earn an income. So rethinking this industry, what I'm doing here is typically in network marketing is, we share a product or we share a service, whether it's energy or jewelry or in the health and wellness business, we're all sharing product. So we're putting a little bit of a flip on this by contributing as opposed to consuming, but we utilize our corporate partners in three ways. They develop the product, what we give. So we don't have to do any of the formulation. We, like I said, 9 years in, I'm confident of the product. I'm confident of our company. The quality of food going through our food pantries is not always the best. So they provide the product. They distribute to the 18 countries that we're active in, and we're growing every day. Or we can distribute ourselves, which I'll get into a little further. And then the compensation, what we get back, is a lucrative way to be in the business of feeding people. If your dreams really are, about impacting hunger and helping other people, this may be for you, or you may know somebody who would like to learn more about this. So, as we focus on our dream and we build our team, the residual revenue that we can create can provide the time and financial freedom to reinvest in doing more things good for this world. So it really does make it a perfect plan for fueling the cycle of giving. So let's talk a tiny bit about the bars. Again, there's more information on this on the website, but what we give is we provide 50 meal replacement bars a month, which are 100 points or 100 business volume. It's actually a little bit more for the sake of the numbers. I rounded it to 100. But to stay active, you need the 100 points per month, and that feeds 50 people. The bars are individually wrapped. The food pantries and shelters love receiving them. It's a complete meal replacement, nutritionally, calorically, vitamins, minerals, no soy, no GMO, no artificial colorings, no artificial sweeteners. Again, It's a wonderful food item to give to pantries. And again, quality of the food is not really ideal because people who give usually give monthly, and they're just putting that money out. So it's lovely to teach them how they can put that money out and actually get compensated back. I call it divine compensation. But people want good food that's not only healthy but also delicious, and it will really improve the quality of their life. um, so you can also go to our website and see all of the places that we've donated to in the past few years, and read the testimonials of people who have gotten these meal replacement bars and how they feel about this nutrition. So let's talk about how we can distribute. Isogenics, as I said, we're in 18 countries. They'll deliver for us right through our website. We can put in an order. We print out our tax invoice. We save it. It's a tax deduction at the end of the year. They'll also deliver to any service base in the world. So again, get a group of people who have family members who are overseas or fighting for our freedom. Um, get them together, have them send these bars as opposed to the food that they're sending, and then at here at home they can actually add to the bottom line of their family financially. So many options for this. And the second option is what I personally like to do. I get the bars delivered to me, and then I hit the streets. I love to make connections with my local food pantries. Again, this whole vision came to me because I was handing a homeless person a meal replacement bar, and God said to me, feed people. And I understood our compensation well enough and the business model well enough. I had been in the company 5 years at this point, that I saw that we get paid as distributors. They don't care if we're distributing or, consuming. So let's get this food in the hands of people who need it. This bottom left picture is New York Relief, and it's a backpack program. So we've donated to them. I just like being his hands and feet again. And I want to look into the eyes of people. I want to look into the eyes of the hungry, because that's what really moves me to get up every day and drive this mission. So let's talk about our compensation. When people get into network marketing, a lot of people understand the industry and they get in for the residual income part, because it's income you earn, as a result of marketing a product or service once. And then as you build your team, you get paid over and over and over. Linear income is income we earn by working a job, trading time and skills for money. And there's a cap on what we can make there. There's only so many hours in the day. We get paid what society says our job is worth. So it's for me, that's not a motivator. A motivator for me is something that's going to change the world. What happens with this is, at the beginning, you're putting in a good amount of time just meeting people, making connections, networking, understanding how this rolls out, so that you then can work with your team and teach more people how this works. But you do create time freedom, and that creates the financial freedom that we're all looking for. Like I said, the time and financial freedom allows us to do more, allows us to give more. I know there's so many causes that I've been able to give to now that, years ago I wasn't able to, because there was a cap on what I could make, and we all have to, we all have our bills to pay. So it's just a beautiful, if I'm working 10 hours a week and I have 5 people, on my team working 10 hours a week too, I'm getting paid on 60 hours as opposed to just my 10 hours. So it's just a beautiful concept that once you understand the power of it, you really don't sleep at night. So let's talk a little bit about this disclaimer. Earning levels or examples should not be construed as typical or average. The income levels are dependent upon how hard we work, again, how we're driven by our why we are, the time that we put in, the commitment. And so there are skills to learn, how to connect with people, how to manage your time. But when you work with a group of individuals, our teams that are passionate about this, I say it's a personal development journey with a comp plan attached. So it's been such a wonderful journey for me the past 9 years. I'm so grateful for this. So what we're going to talk about here now, this is the residual income side of this, the exponential power. We're going to talk about, our company pays 6%. um, all the way down, whoever comes in the door behind you. So they pay 6% on that volume, which, as I mentioned before, the 100 points or the 100 BV that goes through our business every month of the people ordering 50 meal replacement bars. So on the left-hand side of the column here, you're going to see that's the number of people in the levels as we go down in our business. And this is going to represent everybody sharing with two people, just two people. Now, needless to say, we share with more than two, but for the sake of just showing you this compounding effect, which is pretty cool. I'm going to take a little side note here. You know, I've seen it. People say, if you were offered $1 million or a penny compounded daily for a month, which would you pick? And typically, if people don't understand compounding, they would pick $1 million. But if you take $1 million times two and do that compounding of two for 30 days, you're over $5 million. It's just the geometric progression of numbers. It's a mathematical equation that cannot be argued. So that left-hand column is going to be the number of people on each level with everybody bringing in two. And at the right, it's the number of meals we provide monthly by each person bringing in two, committing to that 50 meal replacement bars a month. So you could see you start with your 50 meal replacement bars and you share with two people who you teach them this business model and what we're doing. And you join hands with other people who are passionate, may already be giving to food banks, maybe in your church, again, you service people, you work with people you want to work with. So second level down, they share with two people. So you'll see how many business partners on the second level. There's 4 business partners, you know, for a total of 7 people in your organization, 200 meals on that level, 100 the level up, 50 from you. So, you know, you're feeding 350 people there. The third level down, everybody enrolling too. And I'm going to roll this out here to, let's say, 6 levels down in your organization. So on the 6th level, 128 people have come in who are each buying 50 meal replacement bars a month, which is that 100 BV, 100 points, times our 6%. So we are actually earning $800 monthly. It's paid weekly, residually on our team of, or on our network of givers. And we are feeding 3,200 people on that level monthly. So you can see the impact of these numbers as they roll out. Again, just the geometric progression of numbers. On the 10th level down, on that level alone, you bring in 1,024 people. So the total of people in your organization at that point are 2,084. Everybody's ordering just 50 bars a month, times that 6% 6% that we get paid on our volume. That's $12,000 a month. Again, paid weekly. And we're feeding 51,000 people using no replacement parts, sending them where we want. And that's everybody enrolling 2 people, okay? 12th level down, you've got 8,190 people in your organization, each ordering 50 bars a month. And those 50 bars a month, that approximately $1,800 at the end of the year is a tax deduction. You're donating these bars, you're saving your receipts. So at that level down, you have 8,000 people in your organization. You're earning close to $50,000 a month residually, and you're feeding 200,000 people a month. So it's pretty, you know, again, it is math. You can't argue it. Does it unfold like this? No, because not everybody jumps in and joins. So even if you only had 50% duplication in your, you know, in your team, you'd still be feeding 204,000 people and creating 24,000 per month or 6,000 in weekly passive residual income. Again, it's just a mathematical equation. The formula for this residual revenue, most network marketing companies, the reason they're called multi-levels because they pay a certain percentage a few levels down and then it drops and then you have to, you know, start over. And with Isogenics, there is no breakage in your downline. You get paid on everybody who walks in the door behind you. Again, we're in 18 countries where you know, you open a global business right from your computer when you get this and when you see the power of what impact we can make and the income we can make doing this. So I'm going to take this one step further and show you the power of one. How much difference can one person make? So I showed you 12 levels down. So 2 people who enroll 2. Now, how about 3 people who enroll 4 levels down? So the difference, you have 30 people in your organization if you're enrolling 2 who enroll 2. If you teach 3 people to enroll 3, you have 120 people in your organization. You're making close to 500 monthly, and you're feeding. Look at the difference in the people that you can feed if you enroll 3 people who talk to 3 people and 4 people who talk to 4 people. I mean, again, it's just this progression of numbers with everybody talking to, let's say, 5 people who enroll 4 levels down. You know, you feed close to 40,000 meals a month, as opposed to if you're 2 talking to 2. And this shows the rollout just a little bit differently, a little more comprehensively. The 2 that enroll 2, you know, the number of meals monthly is the 1,500 people in your organization, 30, the amount of monthly income is 192, whereas 5 who talk to 5. I mean, that's huge, the difference in the number of people you can provide for, the monthly income you can provide. It's just numbers. So when we go through this, I like I said, there's so much more I could get into. I'd love to tell you about our culture of our corporate partners. They have huge parts, privately owned company since 2002. It's a husband and wife and a son and his wife and their children. And it's just an amazing business model that I knew nothing about when I came to this for Wealth Through Wellness. I was just really sick in my mid-50s, not feeling well 9 years ago, looking for a solution to some basic health problems. And this changed my life. And I do believe it was put on my plate for Project Feed It Forward, because like I said, this Wealth Through contribution is something that I feel is something that I'm made to do here. But I would ask you to visit our website and get back to the person who invited you to this call and learn more. And if you have any questions or again, there are bonuses that the company has in place that can get you to having your product paid for very quickly, so that you're not in the red and you're immediately in the black, and then it rolls out. As you build this network, you're compensated if you build strategically with our upfront bonuses, but that's a little bit harder to get into right now. So again, if you get back to the person who invited you to this call, go to the website and look around. You're going to see a lot of information that will clarify some stuff, but you really need to talk to somebody and just learn a little bit more. So if anybody has any questions, we can all, I'm going to unmute everybody and I'd be happy to.
Oh, you can take on the school today.
Maybe could I not unmute everybody and let everybody?
I think that's a better idea.
Yeah.
Let people unmute.
Okay, so if you have any questions, unmute yourself. I'd be happy to answer.
So Patty,
Yes.
Beautiful presentation. I really enjoyed that. It was just, loved the numbers. It's so exciting, the possibilities and all. And just taking it just a little bit further, I know you and I have talked about this.